Hi, Charlotte. Okay, so here's my feedback on this one. So, first thought is I wonder maybe putting your logo in the left-hand side. I know it's a landing page, so you don't want to have your different navigation up at the top. That's totally fine. Maybe move this down just a little bit so it makes some space for the logo to kind of take up a little bit of space at the top. Not a deal breaker, but just my thought, just to kind of keep your branding apparent in there. And then one of my biggest overarching pieces of feedback really is about the colors of the fonts. I really don't like the green and purple fonts everywhere. I think it's okay for titles, but once you get down into, hold on and let me turn off this little guy so I can scroll. Can't for some reason scroll with the highlighter on. Once you get down into big blocks of text that are in the different colors, I find it really distracting. And usually colors are reserved for titles or for hyperlinks. So sometimes in here, I'm just like, oh, are these things to click on for hyperlinks? So I would really encourage you to keep those black, and maybe just big things you want to pull out are in color. And that also aligns with the idea about the button needing to stand out, and obviously it does because it's giant and yellow and has a little circle thing around it. But if you have a lot of colors all over the place too, it's going to distract the person's eye from wanting to click on the button that is usually in a color. So down here where you've got this stuff in black, that is a lot more clear, I think. Okay, so that is a big feedback in general. And I actually pulled up a couple of sites, well, same site, but just a couple pages. I'm really obsessed with the Screw 9 to 5 website. I think that they do a really good job. There's a lot of white space, so it's really clean feeling. They use their colors, but only for headers and things that are clickable, and the rest is black. And these aren't landing pages, but well, this one kind of is. So this one's a giant video, and then they've got a button in orange. But as you can see here, they do use their color for kind of the main header bit, but then the rest is black. And I just find that a lot more clean to look at. So I would really encourage you on that one. Okay, more specific stuff. So as I was reading these, that "your" right there should be capitalized just to keep it in line with how you capitalize other stuff. And then another big piece of feedback overall is who really is your target client. Because as I read through it, I didn't really get that sense. It feels very general, like anybody, hey, anybody, you can attract your ideal clients. And that might be true, that what you have here really could help anybody. But when you've got a landing page, you need to be crystal clear on who it's supposed to attract, because then your potential client will really connect with your page. Because I fear that someone who maybe is your ideal client comes to this and is just like, oh, it's really general, I don't know if they're really going to help me, and they go somewhere else that's talking to them specifically. So if your ideal client is real estate agents, then throw in words and maybe even a picture of a real estate agent with a house behind them, you know, or leads all over them or something like that, showing how it's really effective for real estate agents or whatever the different group it might be. And that could also lead to, you could make this landing page and then you could just hit duplicate and swap out the language and images and have different traffic going to different pages, so that you are attracting a few of the different groups that make up your ideal client, if you aren't just, only going after one specific group. But I feel like overall it's too general right now to really connect with whoever it is that would be perfect for your mastermind. Okay. I'm also, I try to be really conscientious about the fonts and how many different sizes I'm using. So in just this screen, I see 1, 2 plus bold, 3, and then 4 inside of here, 4 different font sizes. And maybe even this is a different font than that. So just be careful about that. You want to have as little as you can, just because the more variety there is, the more it tends to be distracting. Okay, and then you've got testimonials, which feel free to send me this when it's revised and I'll take another peek at it and see like what those filled in. Okay, yeah, so still the colors. Here, I like that it's black and I like that you have an image for each, but I think you could squish in this bit right here so it doesn't feel like so long, because when I read it, I feel like I have to go like, you know, like all the way across the page. So if you kind of condensed it, it might make it feel like less and easier to read, and maybe make the images bigger to represent what the different items are. Yeah, and I might go through this really closely too and like look out for like, do you have 2 spaces after a period? Oh, I guess you have them consistently. Okay. As long as it's consistent, I don't think it really matters. It looks like you're consistent. Never mind. I thought that was just one. Okay. Even more details. Yeah, I don't like the purple and green text. I just find this so hard to read when it's like all green and bold too. Topics to work through. No previous technical experience. Okay. Down in here, if there's a way to give more padding to these words, because I don't think it looks as great if it's right up against the edge like those. So see if you can maybe add in a bit more padding so that it scrunches it in and gives more even spacing inside of the container. Okay. Yeah, the green. Okay. I'd love to show you how you can create your own clients for life. Cool. So yeah, that's my main stuff overall, is the colors for the fonts and really honing in on who is your target client. And I mean, think about one person, like who is your best client that if you could duplicate them, you would. Think about them, maybe even try to get a picture of somebody who looks like them, or maybe use them if they're comfortable with that, and really use language that's going to make that person come here and say, oh my gosh, this was made for me. I have to be a part of this. All right, so I hope that was helpful, and I'm more than happy to look at another iteration if you want to make some changes and send me around too. Bye.